You're listening to the Cashology podcast by FNBO, a place dedicated to helping you become more financially savvy every day. It's a little like school, but your only homework is living your best financial life. I'm your host, Justin, and class is now in session. You've heard of the 5 love languages, words of affirmation, physical touch, acts of service, quality time, and gifts. We might use them all, but everyone has a dominant way they relate to others. Everyone has a dominant way they relate to money, too. A money personality, maybe learned from our parents or formed by our own life experience. Learning about your money personality can help you have a sound relationship with your finances. Welcome and thanks for listening to the Cashology podcast, hosted by your guide on the path to financial savvy, me, Justin. In this episode, I'm joined by Brittany Neurath from our Broomfield, Colorado branch. Brittany has been with the bank for 22 years, during which she has had the privilege of managing a dedicated team of bankers out in Broomfield. Brittany's role primarily involves empowering and guiding her team to provide expert advice and exceptional service to FNBO's valued customers on their financial journeys. Personally, I think this makes Brittany an excellent guest to have give us an overview of the money personalities that exist. And in this episode, I learned that there are 5 of them. How fantastic is that? So as always, please give us a like and subscribe and tell your friends about the Cashology podcast. In fact, tell your friends to tell their friends and then have those friends all buy postcards and then choose a distant cousin or relative that they've been meaning to reach out to, have them take that postcard and then have a little plug for the Cashology podcast and then send that to that distant relative, because that is how you spread the message. So please do that. Tell your friends and then your friends' friends and then those friends. Again, I hope you enjoy this episode about the 5 money personalities. Well, let's get into the topic. So today we're just talking about 5 money personalities. And so, Brittany, if I told you I get genuine joy from saving money, what does that tell you?
That's easy. That tells me that you're a saver. Savers are great, but they can learn a few things from the other personality types. What if I told you I work hard and I love to enjoy the fruits of my labor?
Well, then I think that tells me you're the complete opposite of me. You're a spender.
That is true.
I might be a saver. Tell me about myself then.
That's easy. You get a genuine rush from savings. Savers, it's like a source of pride. They're the ones who always turn the lights off when leaving a room. You're organized, responsible, and you like to keep your tax returns, even saving them for decades. When you make purchases, you understand the true cost of ownership, meaning all the maintenance, repairs, and any other costs. That all sounds great, but you can be overly focused on your pure savings goals. You accumulate a lot of cash rather than investing it. Unlike me, you have trouble being spontaneous.
I guess, yeah, some of that describes me, but can someone have, multiple personalities?
Absolutely. Everyone has a dominant money personality, and they can share characteristics of the other personalities. Take me, for example. I'm a spender with saver tendencies.
Got it. Okay, so then if you're a spender, which I feel like I doubt just a little bit, then tell me about yourself as a spender.
I don't know about this. This gets me excited. I'm 100% a spender. New phone, new clothes, no problem. I love to live in the moment. A quick trip to Vegas, a gift for a friend. I love buying things for people in my life. The downside is I'm an impulsive buyer, and I don't always talk about my finances and my purchases with my spouse. I live with a ton of buyer's remorse. So for me, I have to set up rules for myself by creating a budget. Spending limit per pay period is a great one.
That's a good idea. So is there a personality type then that's smart with spending?
Absolutely. That's a planner. They're very predictable with money. They spend, but they like to make a plan first. They love to research products and purchases, and they make a ton of pros and cons lists. They almost always spend small, never putting their future on the line. They always make sure to cover their bills first. Their kids will definitely have a college plan. On the downside, they rarely try new things, and they only like to act on certainties. Sometimes they can get a little stuck during research and never make an actual decision. They could really benefit from letting go every now and again. Explore travel, hobbies, or other things, or just simply making charitable donations.
Wow, as you describe that, that sounds kind of just like my wife. So planners are smart versions of spenders. Is there a smart version of savers?
This one is my favorite. They're called investors. That's the 4th type. They view money as a tool, like a resource. They understand their finances and they put their money to work. When it comes to money, they definitely have goals. A savings account, a retirement account, a college fund, they have it all. Every aspect of their money has a goal. They calculate but aren't too afraid of risk. If you're an investor, keep up the great work.
Okay, so far we've got savers and investors against spenders and planners. What's the fifth type?
The fifth type definitely won't break the tie. The fifth type is called detached. This type would rather let someone else take care of their finances. They rarely talk about money or even think about it. They definitely do not have a budget. They're very focused on their relationships and connections. If they have someone, a spouse, that's great, especially if that spouse is a saver, investor, or a planner. But if you're detached and your spouse is a spender, well, that could be a little bit of a problem. The detached personality type can benefit from automating things. Use payroll deduction for your retirement savings, automate your transfers to your savings accounts, or auto pay your bills. Set it, but don't forget it. Spend 15 minutes a week going over your accounts. Make sure you're in good shape.
I think that's like great advice just for anyone, making sure you're checking in at a reasonable amount of time. Just all of your finances. So, hey, listeners, if you're listening, we'll have links in the show notes to these types of money personalities, all 5 of them. You can click on these links and kind of read more and explore and kind of understand where you might fall in one of those personality types or somewhere on the spectrum of being a combination of both. So, Brittany, thank you so much for joining. If our listeners wanted to reach out, how could our listeners get a hold of you?
Absolutely. I'm in Colorado at our Broomfield branch at 12009 Sheridan Boulevard, or they can simply call me at 303-464-3800.
Wonderful. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today, Brittany.
Thank you, Justin.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Podcasts are for informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations. When making decisions about your financial situation, consult a financial professional for advice. Podcasts are not regularly updated and information may become outdated. Deposit products are offered by First National Bank of Omaha, member FDIC. Investment products are not FDIC insured, not a deposit or other obligation of the bank, not insured by any federal government agency, not guaranteed by the bank, may lose value. The Cashology Podcast, copyright First National Bank of Omaha.